Growing Up Brooklyn with Phil and Fred. Two brothers, one wild, diverse life, and a lifetime of stories you won't believe.
Hey, good morning, Fred. You're looking kind of tired there. What happened?
Oh, come on, brother. What do you mean I look tired?
Well, you look like you ran a marathon.
Well, not really a marathon.
Did you go
Feeling
to
all
the
right.
gym?
The gym, I quit that. Oh, you think I'm going to pay to go to a gym? I go to a free gym now.
Oh, and where would that be?
It's called Lowe's. Lowe's has a gym. You didn't know that?
No,
I go there every
how do
morning.
I join?
Well, it's free.
Oh,
You go there at 6 o'clock in the morning. You start off you go to the back of the store, which is usually, I don't know, every store is a little bit different. That's the garden section. Nobody's there at 6 o'clock in the morning. So you
what's-
go there at 6 o'clock in the morning and you start to walk around and you look for somebody to help you to buy something. You don't know where that part is.
right,
So you
right.
walk around, and usually at 6 in the morning, it's pretty hard to find somebody. So you walk from there. Then the other end of the store is where in my Lowe's anyway, where they download the lumber, and you go to that back door there, but they're too busy to help you.
Wow.
So eventually, when you're about at 2,000 steps for the day, you find somebody, and you say to them, "Hey, I need a Finnegan pin," which we know doesn't exist, but he doesn't know or she doesn't know that. So they say, "Finnegan pin. What are you going to use it for?" And that's to help them figure out what it is without telling you they don't know. So they say, Finnegan pin. Oh, well, what are you going to use it for? And I say, well, what's the difference? You either have them or you don't. So then you say, you get them completely off base and you say, well, where are the screws? Oh, it's a screw. And they tell you to go to aisle 14. When you arrive at aisle 14, you find out that's where they sell the light bulbs. So that's not going to help. But you look around anyway for a while, and then out of nowhere, another blue vest appears, and they say, "Can I help you?" Oh, sure. I need a Finnegan pin. And you get that same blank look on their face, and they say, "Finnegan pin." And you say,
I have
"Excuse
no
me."
clue.
And you take your phone out. Now I got 2,500 steps. So I'm doing good. I only need another 500 for a mile and a half. So I say, well, yeah, I need a Finnegan pin. And what are you going to use it for? So you lean in real close. You try to get as close as you can to them, and you say, I'm building a rocket." And the guy says, "A rocket? What are you going to do?" "Can't tell you." He said, "That would probably be aisle 2." So you walk to aisle 2. Now I have 2,500
You got your
steps,
steps in.
and I'm in the plumbing department.
Of
So
course.
then I say to myself, all right, 2,600. Had enough for the day. It's almost 7 o'clock by then. I walk out and I have free exercise. So it works out well.
Well, these stores, I tell you, Home Depot, Lowe's, they used to be very good years ago. But I have the same problem here. Last week I wanted to get a bidet, and one, he didn't know what I was talking about, and he didn't speak English. That was in Home Depot. Then I went to another guy, and he had no clue, but he brought me over to some place where they didn't have any. So after the third one, I decided to go and order it on Amazon, and I had it the next morning.
Yeah, Amazon knew what it was as soon as you typed it in, I bet.
Absolutely. I put a bidet in. It gives you a whole list of all of them from $39 to $239. But not only that, Freddie, but it came here between 4 o'clock in the morning, I think, and 10, something like that, 4 to 10. And I open the door and it's there in the morning. I mean, it's just,
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's what's happening. We kind of remember the old when we were kids, the hardware store. You walked in, your ex or whatever, and they knew where
well,
it was, and they would get it for you. But those
and to
days
be,
are over.
and to be honest with you, I'd rather shop locally. But it's again and again, every time you go to one of these stores, you can't find what you want and nobody can help you. So you pick up your phone, boom.
Yeah, that's the sad part. Nobody can help you.
Yep, that's the
And
sad.
especially now as we move along with the electronic stuff and everything, you just can't get any of that stuff anymore. But it's unfortunate. But I think for today, the direction we're going to go, and we're going to start looking at, I guess, the stores and the restaurants that we kind of grew up with, and
Yep.
the simple things bring us back to Coney Island again. Looking back, it was interesting, especially for you. A few years older than me, and it was just after the war, so I don't know if stuff was even available, half the items, so you had to kind of shop smart.
In those days, Fred, going back to 46, 47, 48, I mean, it was mostly going to get potatoes, onions, some spinach, and and
Basics.
and we went to Mary's grocery store. There was a kid that I grew up with, Peg Blake. His mother and father owned it. Mommy, give me 50 cents. They go buy 5 pounds of potatoes and
Yeah,
get this and get that, and 50 cents paid for it.
yeah.
But that was 100 years ago.
Yeah, I remember down the block, right from there was Ponerella's, which
Right?
was a little
Yeah.
bit more grocery, less vegetable and stuff. I don't even know if they had any of that,
No,
but
it
I
was all
remember it.
groceries.
Yeah, I remember outside they used to have in a box the codfish, the dried out.
Yep.
I guess that was cod, right? About what they
Oh
call
yeah,
it.
mommy liked that, but took 3 days to make it.
What was that Italian? There was an Italian name for the bacala.
Bacala.
Bacala, and it would be just outside. The flies would go on it, and everything. It was. But anyway, you'd go into Ponerella's, and it was a small store, 20 foot wide, whatever it was in those
Oh,
days.
it was small. Yeah.
And you'd walk down on the right aisle, you go down, and they had a little bit of everything, and not like today, more like an Aldi's, which is they pick one item, that's it. They have one ketchup, not 14 variety, and that's what it was. They had one ketchup. You didn't need
Yeah.
15 different style. And you'd go down, you'd pick everything up. In the back of the store, there was was that the cold cuts back there and stuff, and
Yeah.
cheeses,
Yeah. But
and
you
they used
but
to.
you but you know what, Fred, in them days, everybody in the 2 or 3 or 4 block area shopped at Ponerella's because you went in, it was convenient. You could
Mhm.
buy your groceries. You could buy your if you want the cold cuts. You even
Right.
the bread they had Italian bread in there, white bread in there. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just a convenient store, and it was easy to shop, and they were very helpful, and not like today.
Yeah, and it was different. Like you said, you'd go in there, you tell them what you want, you do your shopping. By the time you were done, she had all the cold cuts and the cheeses cut for you, and then you would start to work your way out around the U shape there, and at the
Yep.
counter was one of their daughters would be at the I would say at the register, but they didn't have a register. Their register
No.
was a big brown paper bag, and she had a pencil, and she'd take the item and say, 29 cents or 59, and then at the end would add it up, and you would pay her cash, and that would be the end of it.
And she knew how
And
to add.
yeah, and she knew how to add exactly, and knew how to make change, which is
That would be a
interesting.
problem to without a computer. How would you give
Yeah.
somebody 20? It's $21.22, and you give them $25. They don't know how to give you the change.
There are a lot of kids that can't do that today. Yes, a lot of people. But it was done, and you look back and they'll use a brown paper bag. If the electric goes out today, they have no idea how to do any of that. And
Uh,
they don't have an adding machine. They had no adding machine, no calculator. There wasn't even a calculator then, but never mind an
We went
adding
through
machine.
we went through that down here in Florida about 12, 13 years ago when we had a hurricane came through. And I remember going to one store that was open. She couldn't make I had to show her on paper how to do it. She couldn't figure out the change. I had to write it down for her, add it up, tell her how much I'm giving her and how much the change was. Then they didn't have
Uh,
no and then she didn't have the change to give you. Mm.
yeah. Yeah. Yesterday, we went to lunch with friends of ours, and the bill came, and we shared a bill. And the bill came, and I forgot what it was, but so we pay our own, and we were figuring it out. And the waitress next to us said, "Oh, that's I think it was 40, 43, $43 each." So I looked at her. I'm like, "Wow, you can do that." I said, "Usually younger kids today can't do that." And she said, "Well, if I was a younger kid, that would probably be true." She said, "But I'm 40 years old."
Oh,
And,
okay.
and she didn't look, I tell you, she looked 25, 26 years old. So
Wow.
uh, it was interesting. I mean, she just right off the top of her head was going to give us that. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Uh,
But
yeah,
we got to
more,
live with what it is.
yeah. Moving down the block a little bit on one of my favorite places to eat was on Neptune Avenue, right off West 16th Street, right next to Mezzo's Pastry, was Tadon's Pizzeria. And
Freddie, he
I
was
think
there
he
for.
goes,
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, he goes back to what, 1909 or something,
I
1901?
think he was there for over 100 years.
Yeah. Uh, and to me, he made the best pizza. The store, once again, small store, 20-foot wide. I don't know how many tables he had in there.
7, 8 tables, maybe.
7, 8 table. Jerry was the guy who made the pies. He had his brother and his sister there.
Well, Freddie,
Uh,
I don't want to interrupt you, but the old man was the original. When
right,
I
the
was
original, yeah.
when I was a kid, the old man was making the.
Oh, he
In
was
fact,
still there. Okay.
yeah, Freddie was over in the Second World War. When he
Right.
came back, that's when he went back into making the pizzas. But
Oh,
the old man made the pizzas, and they had an old waiter in there. The guy was about 80 years old when I went there. I think he lived to be about 100, and
mhm.
it was
or,
pretty
or
interesting pizza place.
or maybe he just looked that way. When I the things that stand out to me was it was a coal burning oven. One of the original. They used to make sure it stayed hot all the time, even when they were closed, because they would only open up when I was a kid, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I know when you were a kid, he said during the war they would open up every day because of 24 hours a day. You said,
Right, right. Because we had Whalers Shipyard, only a few blocks from there, where they were making the PT boats for the Second World War. So they were open 24 hours a day, and then the pizza place opened 24 hours a day. And then after the war, they shut down. Then it was just the
right, right.
weekends.
Yeah,
It was
I know you.
weekdays and then the weekends. Good.
Yeah, I know you probably know this, but they only used to make X amount of dough, certain amount, 100 doughs. And when he ran out, that was it. And his size pie today would be considered a personal pie. They weren't big pie, but it was fresh mozzarella,
Right.
Filippo Barro olive oil,
Everything,
the
everything.
best tomatoes. He used to use I forget the brand, but the best tomato. And when it got cooked in that oven, there was just something about that pizza that made it outstanding. It was a Napolitan pizza, the thin slice, but and they had, I think, only three styles. He made the regular pizza, then he made the one with the anchovies,
Right.
and
And
and I don't know if he did the sausage.
no,
I'm not
no,
sure. No,
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 no. That wouldn't vary too much.
no. And then remember how they used to give you the pizza to take out. They put it on a piece of cardboard and brown paper. I don't know if I forgot what they call that paper, but the brown paper, and then he would twist it and round and give it to you. But when you got home with the pizza, it wasn't the mozzarella wasn't stuck to the thing like today. When you bring that box home, I mean, I don't even want to. It's not. I don't like it.
Yeah, well, that's why they put those little chairs in them, those little things so the box doesn't touch it, but it doesn't
Yeah.
really work. But the old brown paper, and I think it kept it better too. That was always a good thing. And
Well,
then
I
if
only had to go from Neptune Avenue down 16th Street to the house. So by the time
right,
I got there, everything was hot. And it kept it hot. I don't know how it did it, but
yeah,
it did.
yeah. I don't really remember. Once in a while, Daddy would go pick up the pizza, but I kind of remember going there. That was Mommy's night out, and it was a 2 hour. People were waiting out the door to get in, but we weren't getting Mommy out in less than an hour. That's for sure.
Freddie, the thing that stands out to me about Tadome's, when he was done with the making pizzas, when they had no more dough left, he'd just go up there, lock the door, and if there was 50 people waiting online, they weren't getting no pizzas. They had to come
Yeah,
back.
yeah. Well, it was like I said. To me, it was best pizza. Later on, Mommy, we went to the Lenny's on 86th Street where they did the John Travolta movie Saturday
Right,
Night
right.
Fever, then 20th Avenue, but it was never the same. I never enjoyed that. And,
No,
and if we were lucky after pizza, we'd go next door if it was summertime and we go to Mezzo's and get a lemon ice, which to me was the best lemon ice ever, or chocolate, whatever they had.
it was the
Uh,
best.
and their pastry. Uh,
Nobody
I,
made
yeah,
pastry like they did.
yeah. I know everybody's neighborhood they say was the best, but for some reason Mezzo's was really there. They used to do the pasticciotto with the vanilla and the chocolate cream in it. The
Yeah.
cannolis were made fresh.
The
Yeah, there was,
cannolis were every day fresh.
yeah. And once again, husband, wife, two kids. Uh, they all worked in the store. They made the wedding cakes. They made regular cake.
Do you remember the names of the two sons? What we used to call them?
Yeah,
What was
yeah. Yes, I do.
yeah? What was their name?
Cannoli and pasticciotto. I don't know if that's nice to say, but
No, but we used
that's
to
what
call,
they.
and they it was a joke to them too. They laughed when you called them
No, maybe. I don't know if it was the same joke that we thought it was, but
that.
uh, yeah, it was. And when you walked in that store, that smell of the
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 bakery,
uh,
the cooking.
whatever it was really.
Yeah,
You knew you were in a bakery store.
yep,
Uh, and we didn't go too much further down the block for bread.
no,
We'd go
no,
down to between 15th and Sewell
yep.
for the bread store.
Go to
And
Freddy's.
once again, a coal oven stove. I used to call it Mary's, Grace's, Freddy's. I don't remember the actual name. And unfortunately, the people I would have to call for that information are no longer with us. So
Yeah,
we're going to have
I,
to wing it here. But somebody will tell us what the name was.
I could tell you this. To me, nobody made bread like that. That was me personally.
Yeah. Well, they had that outside hard crust. It wasn't an Italian bread. It was almost
Yeah,
what they call today an artisan bread. I mean, it had that
yeah, it
beautiful
could be.
outside. Yeah. And then as a matter of fact, two of the biggest restaurants in Coney Island used to have served their bread, which was Carolina's, which was on Neptune between Stewart and 15th Street,
Right, right.
and got Giulio's, which was a block up on 15th Street. So
Yeah.
they all used that bread, and that was one of the things, especially in Carolinas, they would get the baked clams, and they would give you the sauce on the side. Well, and you dip that Italian bread
Dip
in
deep
there.
bread in there, right? Right.
Yeah, that was always interesting.
Well,
Um,
that's what
but
made them stores busy all the time, Freddie. Because and
yeah,
remember, it was a big Italian population too.
right. Yeah, well, that's. I mean, there was a Weisberg was there another grocery store that was across the street there. He
Right.
had a lot of stuff in it. We'd go there once in a while, pick stuff up. You had the meat market, the butcher there and stuff. So
Jerry, you had
yeah,
Jerry's butcher.
yeah, Jerry's Butcher. Wasn't he related to some
He was related to Mikey.
Mikey? Yeah,
Mike, I grew up with Mike. In fact,
yeah.
till today, he's 87, I'm 86, and we're still good
Oh,
friends. We used to be in business together. We did a lot of things together, Mikey and I.
no. So I know we used to go to a couple of different fruit stores. I know one was Mary's that you had
Yeah,
talked about earlier.
right.
You would go there. Then we had the fruit wagon, the horse and wagon that used to come
That
twice a
was
week.
that was Blackie's.
That was Blackie's wagon, and they used to come, and he had a lot of fruit and stuff on that truck, vegetables a lot.
Well, Freddie, it
Uh,
was a horse and wagon originally.
yeah, I remember the horse and wagon coming down the block.
And he'd be
I do.
coming down the block yelling, you call
Yeah,
him Francis, I got this and that, whatever he had on sale that day. And then
yeah.
she'd come out and buy it, and then he'd go to the next house. It was pretty, it was
Yeah.
different. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I wonder if the horse followed him. Yeah, I guess he used to just walk alongside of him. He didn't get back on the wagon.
I
I
don't
think
know.
only when he went to another block. I don't remember
Yeah.
that well. Candy stores. Well, we talked about Freddy's the other day in a different episode. World War II, right? Right.
Freddie, World War II. He got injured in the Second World War. That's why he used a cane to walk with.
Right. And he had a little place there with a little bit of everything, I guess.
Yeah, we whatever. Yeah, it wasn't big store, but he had bread. He had some milk, whatever necessary.
Yeah.
A lot of
And then
candy.
when I guess when I was 10, 11, there, another store opened up in the middle of the block who had a little bit more. It was almost like a soda fountain kind of store.
Yes,
They had, they had some candies and they had a little ice cream and stuff. Didn't
right.
last that long, but it was there for a while.
Yeah,
Uh,
but it didn't
it,
last long, if I
no, it
remember.
didn't
Did
last long. No, it didn't really last. Uh, and now looking at the both of us, I don't know if we'd be using this much anymore. The barber shops we used to go to. Uh,
Well, we
yeah,
did use them years ago.
yeah, we had hair years ago. We'll put some pictures up maybe when we had hair.
Yeah, he was on Mermaid Avenue, the one I went to. No,
Right,
Neptune Avenue. It was,
right,
you know what, Freddie? I can't remember his name, but
yeah,
everybody used to get their haircuts there. As a matter of fact, I used to, my cousin Tommy and I was shining shoes in there.
no,
And we had the big jug. You put a hole in the top and you put a glass on the bottom with water. And if they got their nickel in it, then they got 25 cents. But
wow.
it used to go down
Yeah,
like this.
it,
Most people never got it.
uh, the yeah, they was put a lot of whiskey glass or something at the bottom, right? A
Yes,
small
whiskey
whiskey
glass.
glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You didn't give away too much money, that was for sure.
No.
You go
Well,
do a good.
the object was to make money.
So if this was the movie Goodfellas, I would tell you to go home and get your shoe shine box.
Well, we
uh,
had a good time. We had a good time doing it.
yeah, the barber shop. Yeah, I remember. I for some reason Nick, but I don't think that was his name. I don't remember. But I
I don't
remember
know.
getting my first real shave in there. That they put that hot towel on your face.
Yeah.
I was probably 17, 18 or whatever, and they put that
And
hot towel on. It was like, woo.
he used a straight razor
And yeah, that was they was sharpening it with that, not sharpening it, but we used the strap on the
with the
side. Where
a leather belt.
yeah, yeah, and then you'd lean back and they would, yeah, okay, and then they would put whatever the hell that was in the bottles that they had there, green stuff on your face that would burn the hell out of you. It was supposed to be aftershave, but God only knows what it was. And then
You
they would
know,
put the wild root on your hair, and
yeah, it stunk, but
yeah,
they did it. That
yeah,
was a
it
good.
was.
He could have made a mistake when he was shaving you, and slit your throat, and nobody would never know.
I guess I don't know if they had barber schools then, to be honest with you. I mean, they just yeah. I mean, later on maybe, but and
No,
anybody who was a barber became one probably.
I think so.
Yeah. And no, we talk about ice cream stores. When we were kids, there really was no ice cream stores per se. A couple of stores sold ice cream, but ice boxes weren't really around. Freezers weren't prevalent.
No,
I used to get once in a while go down to Coney Island with Daddy and get custard, either near Nathan's or a couple of blocks over.
but
Lemon ice in the summer.
there was a store on 86th Street, Jan's. I don't remember when they opened, but I remember going there as a kid. We used to go there young. Um, somebody had to take us with a car to get there, and they were well known for their I forgot what
It's kitchen sink.
the kitchen sink. Boy, it had everything: ice cream, bananas, whipped cream, you name it. It was in
Yeah,
that,
yeah. You had to have 4 or 5 people that eat that.
and we all ate out of the same dish. Imagine that.
Yeah, not today.
And we're still here. But, we
Yeah,
all ate out of the same dish, and we're still here. And now today, with all the
yeah. We drank out of garden hoses
oh, how
from the
about when
fountains in the park.
how about when I used to have to suck the hose to get the gas from one to the other, and sometimes the gas went in your mouth.
Yeah, yeah. Well, siphoning the gas was always
Yeah, yeah.
wasn't something we enjoyed doing. That was for
But
sure.
I'm still here too.
But we all had to do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was leaded gas at the time.
I mean, you didn't drink it; you spit it out. But You know,
Yeah, well, we sure did. Hopefully we did. Uh, I think we covered a lot today. We're going to probably jump to another subject next week. We'll find something interesting to talk about. Maybe how we got started in the amusement business as a family and give a little history about that.
we could do that. We could do
And then we're
that.
going to get into business.
You know,
We were both in a lot of businesses. My brother was very successful in a few of his businesses, but uh, every business that we did, win or lose, we learned something. And I think that's the important part. We keep remaking ourselves as we are here today at this age, doing podcasts. So you got to just keep going, chugging along. Um, I think, growing up in Coney Island was probably the best.
well, for us at the time, it was a great experience.
Yeah, it definitely helped us.
And,
It was a
and Freddie,
diverse neighborhood for sure.
yeah, and let me say, growing up was a great experience, but being successful or a failure in business and continuing to keep going, even if you were not successful, there was businesses that we were not successful in, but I think that made us stronger for the next business.
I think a few of my businesses and yours, we were joint on a couple of them. I think we were ahead of our time.
Yes.
Like when we did Alarms Are Us, we had a wireless alarm system that people thought we were crazy.
But that was in what was that, in the 60s, I think.
Maybe the early 70s. Yeah, 70s.
Was it? We should have kept that. Alarms Are Us was the name of our business.
Yeah.
We could have sold that.
Yeah, we sell the name, sure.
You
Well, I want to say it's been great today, brother. Always great to see you and talk to you. And we'll do this probably again tonight. You and I will talk as we
Yes.
do our nightly talk. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. We want to invite you back. Like us, subscribe, and most of all, send us a message. What do you want us to talk about? We have a lot of stories, some good, some bad, but we have a lot. And we'd love to tell you, we'd love to share. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know what we're doing right or wrong. We're probably doing a lot more wrong than right, but we're new at this. We're learning.
And let me ask you this question, because you're the electronics expert. I'm not.
But
If somebody
technology,
wants,
wait. I'm a technology expert. Electronics is, I don't fix TVs.
your technology. Let me ask you this question. If somebody wanted to come on,
Yes, we'll invite them on. Sure.
but, and they can do that, Fred? I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know how to do it.
we can put 10 people. Same way that you come on, that's how they come on. We send them an email. They get
Okay.
their phone.
Then let's see. There might be people who want to share their.
I'm hoping that we get people from Coney Island, from Brooklyn, that we grew up with that want to be part of this. Absolutely. Even
Well,
relatives that might want to come on and share their
Okay.
story about growing up with us and growing up Brooklyn.
Let's do that. Let's see if we can get that done. That would be fantastic.
No, it's technology wise, it's easy.
Okay.
But if they're old like us, it may be a little bit more difficult to explain.
Well, for me, it'd be very difficult. For you, it's easy. See?
Yeah, you make it sound that way. All right, listen. Thank you, everybody. Love you.
Thank you.
God bless.
Talk to you later, Fred.
Talk to you later, brother. Love you.
Love you too.
Thanks for hanging out with us on the Growing Up Brooklyn podcast, the oldest brother duo podcasting today. If you liked listening in on our nightly conversation, hit like, subscribe, and come back next week. We'll be here, unless one of us falls asleep.
Broken blocks, we learned to roll. Coney Island dreams and a fearless soul. Ferris wheel spins, we laugh so loud. Made our mistakes, then we turned around. Lost a few bets, got back in line. Took every fall and made it proud. Growing up Brooklyn, hey, Fred and Phil.
Thanks for hanging out with us on the Growing Up Brooklyn podcast, the oldest brother duo podcasting today. If you liked listening in on our nightly conversation, hit like, subscribe, and come back next week. We'll be here, unless one of us falls asleep.
Broken blocks, we learned to roll. Lost a